Imagine a world where diplomacy fails, negotiation collapse, agreement breakdown, tension rise. At that point, what happened next? According to famous Prussian military theorist Carl Von Clausewitz, Clausewitz famously stated that war is continuation of politics by other means. But what did he really mean by this statement? Was he suggesting that war is simply another political tool? Or is there a deeper connection between warfare and political decision making? In this video, we will explore Clausewitz theory, examine its key concept, look at historical example, and discuss whether his idea remain relevant to today's world. So, who was a Carl von Clausewitz? Carl von Clausewitz was a Prussian army officer and military theorist born in 1780. He served during the Napoleonic Wars, one of the most transformative periods in European history. Through first-hand experience on the battlefield, Clausewitz observed that war was never just about soldiers fighting one to another. Instead, he realized that military action were deeply connected to political ambition, national interest, and state power. This observation eventually inspired his most influential work on war published after his death in 1831. In this book, Clausewitz argued that war should not be viewed as an isolated military activity. Rather, it is a complex phenomenon shaped by politics, society, emotion, uncertainty, and human decision-making. So, what exactly does Clausewitz mean when he says that war is the continuation of politics by other means? The key idea is simple. Political leaders pursue objectives such as security, influence, territory, and national interests. Normally, they attempt to achieve this goal through a diplomacy, negotiation, or economic measures. However, when this method fails, government may turn to military force. In this sense, war does not replace politics. Instead, it becomes another method of pursuing the same political objective. For Clausewitz, military strategy should always serve political goals. The battlefield may change, but the political purpose remains the same. War, therefore, is not the objective itself. It is a tool to use to achieve political outcomes. Key concept behind the theory. Clausewitz supported this idea through several important concepts. First is the concept of war as an instrument of policy. He believed that states use war as a means to achieve political objectives when peaceful methods are no longer effective. Second is the rational nature of war. Also, war appears chaotic and violent. Clausewitz argued that leaders still make decisions based on calculation, strategy, race, and expected outcome. In other words, war is guided by reason rather than pure emotion. That is the famous trinity of war. According to Clausewitz, every war involves three interconnected elements. First, the government which determines political objective. Second, the military which execute military operation. And third, people who support and moral influence the nation's ability to continue fighting. Together, these three forces shape the cause and outcome of war. History provides several examples that support Clausewitz's argument. During World War I, political alliance and national interests transformed a regional crisis into a global conflict. World War II also demonstrated how political and ideological ambition drove military action. Nazi Germany pursued territorial expansion, by the Allied power for to preserve international stability and security. A more modern example is the Iraq War in 2003. Although the war was officially justified on security grounds, it was also influenced by broader political and strategic objectives in the Middle East. Even today, conflict in regions such as Eastern Europe and the South China Sea continue to demonstrate how military action are often connected to political goals. Whether through conventional warfare, proxy conflict, or cyber operation, the relationship between war and politics remains visible. Despite being nearly 2 centuries old, Clausewitz's theory remains highly influential. Modern states still use military power to support diplomatic objectives, protect national interests, and influence international affairs. However, the theory is not without criticism. Some scholars argue that not all wars are rational. Conflict may be driven by emotion, religious belief, ideology, or personal ambitions rather than clear political goal. Others point out that modern warfare, including cyber warfare and conflict involving non-state actors, challenge the traditional relationship between politics and war. This criticism suggests that Clausewitz theory cannot explain every conflict perfectly. Nevertheless, it remains one of the most important frameworks for understanding war. In conclusion, Clausewitz's statement that war is the continuation of politics by other means highlight the close relationship between military action and political objective. His theory reminds us that war is rarely an isolated event. Instead, it is often a strategic instrument used by states to achieve political goals, whether other options fail. Even in today's rapidly changing world, Clausewitz's ideas continue to shape how we understand conflict, strategy, and international relations.